Hey guys, this is Marc Goldberg from Marc Vlogs Watches with another exciting episode for you today. And we're not only going to talk a little bit about the 2020 price increase that Rolex has hit the United States and the globe with, but we're also going to get into your viewer reactions to that price increase, because let me tell you, you guys have had a lot to say. Now, the background, I released pricing on a bunch of 2020 models on Christmas. So as of January 1st, the price increase has hit globally, and my previous video focused mostly on the United States, which was hit with an average price increase of 3.4%. So that was an average price increase though, guys. Some of the Datejusts moved up just a trickle, but the steel Daytona moved up double the average, right around 6%. In fact, just a little bit over. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video, so go take a look at that. But this video today is to discuss viewer reactions, because boy, you guys have had a lot to say about the Rolex price increase. A couple of really quick points. First, YouTube has mucked around with their algorithms, and you have no idea how much it will help me if you would hit like on this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, because I've got a lot to talk to you about in 2020, and I don't want you to miss anything. And also, I would like to hear further comments, your reactions to the price increase and to the stuff that I'm about to read here. So you'll see me look down. I've got a computer here. I had to pick out some of the comments that I thought were interesting. If yours wasn't selected, I'm sorry. It just was a little overwhelming. I couldn't respond to them all. And I have divided these comments into categories because there was a lot to talk about. Viewers had a lot to say about Rolex and the Rolex wearing wankers and the price increase. So let's take a look. My first category are people who are angry at Rolex wearing wankers. And Mariah Lynn said, it's an overrated watch, don't get it. And there were plenty of comments like this. I don't think Rolex is overrated personally, but yeah, there's an awful lot of hype, and you can heat your head over it to the point where you just get sick of even thinking about it or trying to get one, and that I cannot disagree with. A viewer named 128-192 said, Rolexes are for people with zero personality. Well, I guess he's just mad. I'm pretty sure that 128-192 doesn't have one. I don't think watches reflect necessarily the personality of their owner. Not necessarily. I think the watch reflects your desire to say, a particular message. And for some people, it's, I've made it. Me, quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a G-Shock today, yet, I like Rolex quite a bit and I have some. So, I don't think you can generalize like that, 128, but I think you're a little bit bitter that your mother never gave you an actual, name like Kevin. Okay, the next category we have is people angry at the brand. And A. Sam says, stop buying Rolex, so many better brands out there. Well, the better brands, in my opinion, are brands like Patek Philippe and F.P. Journe and Audemars Piguet, Vacheron et Constantin. If you're going to buy a better brand than Rolex, it's not going to come tripping off the tongue, and you're going to have to study foreign languages before you can even say the name of your own watch. So I heartily disagree. Rolex just rolls right off the tongue. Rolex. There is no better brand for your tongue. Also angry at the brand is M.A., and he says, I got a replica for $900. Your dumbass won't tell the difference. A watchsmith will tell the difference with his big-ass binoculars under a light if he opens it. That's how good the replicas have gotten. Well, M.A., what I've got to say to you is, sir, you better be careful at the bar, because you clearly have a problem distinguishing between the real thing and a copy. And that's all I got to say about that. Be careful. The next category we have are people who have questions for me, like completely random. And Gary Jenkins says, seriously, how are you able to just keep buying new Rolexes? I just want one. Well, Gary, save your pennies, study hard, work hard. Yeah. Oh, and buy them right. I made a video about how to buy a Rolex right. And so you might want to dig around and find that. But you got to be patient. You got to save your money. Okay, the Mistro 1971 asks, he starts with a statement. You have been at the Rolex game long enough. Curious, why didn't you buy the Hulk in the last 8 years when no one wanted it and it was an easy get below MSRP before early 2018? What the Mistro is talking about there is I just unveiled the fact that I bought a Hulk at MSRP like 2 days before Christmas, beating the price increase, I might add, which was a good thing. Oh, well, the Mistro, here's my answer. I can't really tell you that. It just didn't come up on my radar until after it was exploding a little bit. But I did have the foresight to buy a Batman well below MSRP secondhand before that thing exploded in price. So I guess the answer is you win some, you lose some. But I've got a Hulk now, and I'm glad to have it. Recon for Sales says, what's your prediction on a 2017 Rolex GMT Master Black discontinued? And Recon, my prediction is that the GMT Master Black discontinued will remain discontinued. The price is going to hold steady, probably in the $10,000 range, and in 20 years it's going to be double that. That is my prediction. So I would hold on to it and plan on holding it for a long time. It's a very fine watch. Robert Hires asks, how about pricing and availability on the blue-faced Skydweller? And Robert, here's the deal. The price is currently 2020, as of today, listed on Rolex's website. The price is $14,800, which actually I think is a good price considering that this is like the second most complex Rolex made. What it does, the beauty of that watch, I truly think it's an amazing one. I myself have a two-tone, which I bought below MSRP on eBay. So price currently $14,800. To answer your first question, your second question was availability, 0. That's going to be it's going to remain an incredibly difficult watch to acquire. And its price on Chrono24 is about $23,000. So there's a huge premium on that watch if you care to shell that out. I wouldn't do it if I were you, but if you're minted like money, go ahead and do it. Speaking of people minted with money, I do have a category here. It's a category of one, and I call this category people who have too much money, and of course it's Da Machine, which will thrill him to no end to be included in this video. And he says, I found the answer to the question I asked you from my dealer. The yellow gold Submariner is going to increase $1,500 to a grand total of $35,750, which, by the way, that's amazing. So we now have a $36,000 almost sub, and that's before, that's before taxes, before, sales tax. So Da Machine says, I bought another, of course he's got more than one, I bought another blue one today before the price went up. I know, I didn't buy it to make money. I bought it for someone else. The other one is mine. And Da Machine, what I got to say is, I know you love to tell us how much money you have. Good on you. The next category here is people with thoughtful comments. And there were quite a few of those. This one I've had to abbreviate for length because it was very, very long, and it's still pretty long, but I think this one is worth sharing with you. It's from Terry Tudor, who says, Rolexes are traded now like any other commodity on the futures market. Manipulation of prices through supply and demand is inevitable, and this opens up the market to a lot of funny business. And yep, we have seen funny business in the Rolex market, that's for sure. A lot of the price manipulation should be blamed at the gray market dealers and resellers. But who's to know whether Rolex themselves are behind the strategy to elevate prices? They certainly are intentionally limiting supply, and they know there is an insatiable demand which will fuel increasing prices. Well, they don't just know there's an insatiable demand, they spend $1 billion every decade to help create it. The gray market dealer is probably a preferred Rolex customer who can afford to buy 5 Datejusts and precious metal pieces, then qualify to secure several of the prized steel sports models. We do know that goes on, but I hope Rolex begins to actually clamp down on that. These sports models will never be available at MSRP because trading of new watches almost always goes to the secondhand reseller. If the Rolex bubble does burst, and if Rolex prices do come down, collectors and dealers will have a buying frenzy, which will inflate it all over again, just like stocks have peaks and troughs. That is something that I have made a video about myself and I agree with. So in summary, the Rolex bubble will never really burst. As Mark said, Rolex aren't dumb. Brand power is so strong, there will always be demand. Rolex won't increase supply too much. I also agree with that. If you are an investor of Rolex watches, well, investor, I say collector is a better word in my opinion. But Terry Tudor says, if you are an investor of Rolex watches, you can be assured that a nation full of Swiss bankers will keep the value of your investment safe. I'm not so sure I agree with that one. There are lots of mistakes that you could make. You could buy at the high, sell at the low. You could pay a premium that's too high. So I think this is, I agree with a lot of what Terry said, but I want to tell you, you're still in tricky ground. It is quicksand out there trying to make money in watches. I'm lucky. I just try and hold most of my value. That's my strategy. Okay, also with a thoughtful comment, Shaver Ray. He says, the professional watches are still a decent option if you're fortunate enough to get one from the AD at retail, even with the price hike. The gray and the secondary market route, however, remains nonsensical. And Shaver Ray, you know, I agree with the first part of what you said. Certainly you're better off buying them at the AD if you can find them. But the entire secondary market, to call all of it nonsensical is to group everything into one giant basket. And again, I have made videos, for example, on how to buy off of eBay. And I bought, you know, I bought a ceramic sub full set for $8,500 only 5 months ago from eBay. And I bought a Sky Dweller full set for $14,000, two-tone. And I bought a naked or orphan, no box, no papers, but in great condition and authenticated 42 millimeter Explorer 2 for $6,500, all on eBay. So it can still be done if you're careful. Look for my video. My next category is people with ridiculous theories. And Baron Silver Baron, you certainly qualify with this comment. I have a Rolex Submariner. It cost me €1,000 to have it serviced, and it took 6 weeks. In the meantime, I purchased a Steinhardt Ocean 1 premium blue watch direct from Germany, which took 1 week to arrive and cost €540. It is a homage to a Rolex Submariner. I was just going to use the Steinhardt as an everyday knockabout watch and keep the Rolex for special occasions. I am now puzzled. Why buy a Rolex? The Steinhardt keeps better time than the Rolex, is better looking, and is just as well made. Well, Baron Silver Baron, there is such a thing as premium. You know, a Euro, speaking of Euro, a Yugo will get you from point A to point B just as well as a Jaguar. And if you don't mind being seen in one, well, that's on you. So, yeah, if you're happy wearing a Steinhardt and being considered, a low rent kind of guy, well, that's fine. Like I said, you, sir, better be careful in the bar because you have a problem telling the difference between the real thing and the replica, also the crying game. Okay, now, there is another category of people that, there's some sane viewers out there. Some of you people, you're okay in the head and you are sane people and you are happy with your purchases. Joey B is certainly in that category. He says, great info, subscribed. Thanks, Joey B. And the rest of you, please hit the like button, subscribe, do that stuff for me so we can do this again. He says, I'll stick with my 2003 sub date and my 2013 black-faced stainless steel Daytona, both bought new from the ADs. Wow, that's great because Joey doesn't sound like he's bought billions and billions of watches. He's not in the people with too much money category. He just managed to form a buying relationship with an AD and buy some fantastic watches. Good on you, Joey. He continues, I feel fortunate to have both and lucky to have paid retail. Good luck to those searching for the watch that will make them happy in the years to come. They put a smile on my face whenever I put them on. And Joey, thanks for that. Guys, I think you should be patient. Work on those authorized dealer relationships. I made a video about that too. Find it. Yeah, someone's buying these watches at retail. It might as well be you. Another sane person happy with his purchase. Man, I can't say this name. I'm going to do my best. Siorse Plumber. And he says, I have a GMT Batman and I'll never sell it. I've waited so long to find it. I just couldn't be bothered if I wanted to make money on it. I still feel hard done by paying that much for a watch. I've got it on a leather tan strap for summer and a bracelet in winters. Day for my general wear. And my general wear is my Tag Heuer Monaco. I actually sold most of my collection. I'm getting old, so I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. And to be honest, I hate the way Rolex is playing the market or just selling a watch. It's actually sickening, meaning the games and the prices. If there was a watch I wanted, or if one broke and I got fed up with it, I'd just have a Seiko Turtle or a Monster. I feel after I got my Batman, I was right to do it, and I didn't buy a watch I fell in love with just to know that I could flip it. And Siorse Plumber, I know English isn't your first language. Thank you for expressing yourself. I'm with you. I buy a watch to know if I can that I can get my money out of it if I have to, but I don't buy to flip. I buy to hold. The next category is called insane people, and there were so many of those, but I'm just going to leave you with one only. There's enough insanity in the world to... Jeffrey Krupka asks, will my Parnas Daytona be increasing in value now also? And the answer is, yeah, sure. I'm sure it will. Insane people. Although he could probably be in the category of comedians as well. Here's a category I liked. Random comments from people with ADD. There were lots of those. I'm only putting in a couple. Jeff List says, I'm looking for 2 to 3 Daytonas. Well, enjoy the treasure hunt. I hope you find, even one of them. Gecko Cincy says, Batman, enough with this Batgirl nonsense. And my answer is, Gecko Cincy, obviously you own a Batgirl and you're going to be fine. I just suggest you look for a matching purse that has black and blue, and you'll be fine with your Batgirl. But don't be bitter. Embrace it. Embrace the Batgirl. Touch base with your feminine side. It's fine. Well, guys, that is a smattering of the comments on the price increase video. Once again, I will have put a link to that in the description of this video if you'd like to take a look and see, what all the fuss is about. I want to thank you for participating with me. Hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment on this video. What do you think? What are your plans for 2020 as relate to Rolex watches and your collection? Once again, thanks so much for being with me. This is Goldberg. Peace out.
Paint the sky.